Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the while loop, and this is our pseudocode series. A while loop, as already mentioned, is an iteration loop. It's a repetition loop. We use it when we want to run certain lines of code multiple times. But we have seen already that there is a for loop for repetition. So a question might be, what is the difference between these two? The while loop is called a condition-based loop. It is used when you don't know how many iterations or repetitions should be done. So you keep monitoring a particular condition. Instead of counting how many iterations, you just monitor a condition and see when a condition becomes what you want, then you can stop iterating. Otherwise, you keep iterating. A while loop is also known as a precondition. This means you test the condition before running the loop. And if the condition is maybe false at the beginning, then the while loop may never run. I'm going to give a very basic example of the while loop. Let's suppose we have a big bucket. So this is a bucket. And you also have a small cup. You fetch water from somewhere with a cup and you pour into the bucket. Obviously, you are going to do this many times, justifying the loop or the repetition. However, you may not know how many times you need to fetch water and pour into the bucket. So you cannot use the for loop because you don't know how many times. Also, what you would do is you check to see if the bucket is empty. If it is empty, you fetch water, you put in the bucket. Then you check if the bucket is still empty. If it is still empty, you fetch water, you pour into the bucket. What you are doing is you are checking the bucket or the status of the bucket, similar to the condition. And if the status says bucket not full, you put some more water. So you keep doing this until the bucket fills up. This is a very good example of when to use a while loop. You check first, then you pour the water. You don't know how many times you are going to be pouring the water, but there is a condition that tells you to stop. When the bucket fills up, you stop. That is the condition. The syntax of the while loop is indicated here. You say while condition do, then you write the program in between the begin and the end while your program comes here. If we are to use an example of some of the programs that we have seen before, think about this. We want to count from 1 to 5. So you begin, then you initialize count to 1. Then you say, while count is less than 5, you display count and you increment count. then you end while, you do it again, and you are going to keep doing this as long this condition is true. As long count is less than or equal to 5, you keep running the program inside the loop. Yes, you may say this can be done by the for loop, and you will be right. It's just an easy example to give. That's why we chose it. I want you to have a look at this program and try to see what is going on. This is the for loop, and this is a similar version of but using the while loop. The difference between these two, other than syntax, is that with the while loop, you have to manually increment the loop, or the count, not the loop, but the count. The for loop was incrementing the count automatically. So that's quite a big difference between these two. All right. This is a while loop that is taking numbers from the user and adding them to total. So every time we take a number from the user, we add to total, we get another number, we add to total, we get another number, we add to total. We stop when a user gives us a number that is equal to -1. So as long as the user's input is not -1, we keep getting a number and adding it to total. All right, this is the while loop. I'll share more examples. At your time, pause the video and try to make sense of this work. Thank you.